So you have a pantry full of supplements, but you don't know if they're working or if you're using them right, or maybe they're causing problems. In my clinic, I use a lot of supplementation, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I use supplementation, some tips and tricks that hopefully can help you, and we're going to get started right now. Well, hello, I'm Dr. Harrison, and welcome to this week's segment of Why. This is where we take just a few minutes to answer some of the most common health-related questions that I see in my clinic every day. So the question today is supplementation. What happens is people start to collect them. They have more and more and more because we read, this is good for this, that's good for this. And then at the end of the day, we don't know if we're taking them right or So it can be a mess. I'll say supplementation isn't simple, but I'm going to break it down to some pieces that hopefully can help you. So I do recommend a lot of supplementation in my office, and I have a love-hate relationship with them. I use them personally. I love them because they can be very effective if used correctly. I hate them because they can cause problems and make symptoms worse or more complex, and then we don't know what's going on. So there's my love-hate relationship with supplements. So some simple rules of supplements is you have to, how I do it in practice. One, are these supplements designed for maintenance, or are they targeted nutrition designed for fixing a certain problem? I'm going to break it down into two categories. So, there's a million different supplements and a billion different merchants, so bear with me. These are just fundamentals, okay? It would be impossible to go through everything. So maintenance supplements, okay? Well, let me take a little disclaimer. In the world of supplementation, to do it properly, because supplements can cause problems, you should have a provider, that's going to do a proper history, actually do a physical exam, and then even some laboratory tests to know if the supplement is correct. That's how I do it in my practice, and that's why my clients are very successful, because we do a proper workup, right? So, that's number one. I highly recommend that would be the best, or even a nutritionist, even if as long as they're versed in nutrition and supplementation. So maintenance supplements. Okay, here's one category, maintenance supplements. There's only three real categories, the trends that I see in supplementation with maintenance that I recommend. It's a trend, right? And I see it fits for the vast majority of the population. So, it's not for everybody, but the masses I do see clinically that work the best. One is omegas. Omegas, fish oils are way better. They're far superior than vegan sources of fish oil. A lot of research on that. Omegas, you're going to want 3 to 4 grams a day. And you're going to want an omega with EPA, DHA, and GLA. EPA is kind of all around omega. DHA is more specific to brain health, and then GLA is more specific to reproductive health, both in men and women. So omega is 3 to 4 grams, EPA, DHA, GLA. There you go, and that's critical. Having enough of that. You can actually be deficient in omegas. Okay. The second one is vitamin D. Vitamin D, everybody has a different dose of vitamin D. Any vitamin D you take should have K2 in it. It's going to increase the absorption of vitamin D. Vitamin D on panels, laboratory panels, everybody has a different recommendation in my office based off what their numbers look like. Most people are safe with 5,000 international units a day or 4,000 international units of vitamin D a day. I go much higher because I'm watching the numbers, but the laboratory numbers in the imperial measurement system should be anywhere, I should say 60 to 90. That's ideal vitamin D levels under the standard measurement, not metric, but standard measurement. So that's omegas, vitamin D. The third one, and you got to be careful with this third one, is B vitamins. B vitamins are great. Stress responses in life, physical, chemical, emotional stressors, they tend to deplete B9, B12, and then there's even contraceptives, they deplete B6. So a lot of burden depleting our B6 vitamins in our body, and they're critical for so many processes in the body. So I'm not a fan of multivitamins at all. I literally hate multivitamins. But B complexes I love. Now there's a downside to B complexes. Sometimes people their livers have a hard time to process B vitamins. And this is where people can have liver injury, or they can elevate their liver enzymes, which is an indicator of liver injury, or can be an indicator of liver injury. So first rule of B vitamins, they should be a high quality, all of the stuff should be high quality, but B vitamins should be methylated B vitamins. And then if you're doing B vitamins, you should be screening your liver and doing liver enzyme tests before and after to make sure there's no problems. Because I see maybe 1 out of 5, the way we supply, dose B vitamins, 1 out of 5 people will have, liver enzyme elevation, which is an indicator, can be an indicator of liver injury. And we're monitoring, and then we slow down the B vitamins or back off, and then there's no problem. So, there's that disclaimer about B vitamins. So omegas, D3, and B vitamins are by far maintenance staples that I see every day. The second category is targeted nutrition. So this is where a lot of people are like, oh, I have achy joints. I read about this supplement. This is the one I'm going to buy. And so many people that I see, they tend to take certain supplements based off a certain ailment. So that'd be targeted nutrition. Now, this is critical to have a provider that's going to be on target, because you'll end up with lots of ailments and lots of symptoms, and then all corresponding vitamins. And you spend a lot of money on this stuff. It can cause problems. It can make it worse. And these things, if they're used properly, they can actually make significant impact on your health and your life. So I highly recommend, make sure you have a provider. So I can't go through all targeted supplementation. But when I do it in the office, I have certain selected nutritional strategies and supplementation for digestive health, for liver function, for brain function, for hormonal health, for joint health. Like, it's very specific. So I can't get into all of that, but that's how I'd recommend it, not to mix and match, and be very specific, very intentional. Very, very important. And then another thing with it, some problems I see with targeted nutrition is people, they'll take this for achy joints. They take it for a few days or a week, and then they're like, well, I don't know if it's helping. Then they stop, and then achy joint comes back again or flares. They take it again. They say, I don't know if it's working or not working. A common problem I see with supplementation is people aren't being consistent. So what you should do when you're taking supplementation for a targeted ailment, be consistent with whatever dose that you're doing, and record. So be consistent with the dose and record any symptom changes before and after. Have a little journal, okay? Sometimes it might be 2 weeks, sometimes it might be a month, and so you can, and no other changes, nothing else, no other nutritional supplementation, just that. And then you can see, so you really got to follow it through. That's a strategy that I do in my clinic. Of course, I have a lot of experience. That's what I do and background, but I still get people to track their symptoms, and I don't change things up too much. And then if you feel confident it's not working, we'll stop it, still record your symptoms, see if there's a flare in symptoms or if there's no change. If there's no change, the supplement wasn't working. And then kind of go through it like that. So be very consistent with whatever dose and supplement you're using, and then and record your symptoms. These are critical. Then there's another thing, you can read what's on the bottle, and then you dose accordingly on the bottle. I'll tell you a little background about nutritional supplementation. It's not screened properly, right? It's very low screening in supplements, and part of the screening that gets it through is the dose on the bottle. So merchants tend to lower the dose recommended on the bottle of what's therapeutic, because there's less risk. So if there's lower chance of it, the sacrifice is dosing on the bottle a lower dose, but the consequence of that, not having enough of a therapeutic dose to have an effect. So it's not going to cause problems, but there's a less chance it's going to cause a benefit. Now, this isn't recommendations to double what's on the bottle, but some merchants actually cut the dose in half of the therapeutic dose just so there's less risk. So something to think about. The dose on the bottle isn't always the right dose, because it's a generic dose for everybody everywhere, and that's not necessarily going to be effective. So there's a little recap on nutritional supplementation. Don't take a whole bunch. Don't take it all the time. Make sure you're not taking anything expired, and be cautious where you purchase it from, because nutritional supplementation is literally food, concentrated food, and a lot of online merchants, they don't even have climate controlled environments where these things are stored in the warehouse. So they're subject to mold, fungus, and mildew. So be very, very careful where you're getting that from. Make sure it's not third parties. Try to get it directly from the merchant. Do your homework. And there's even a link below that you can access really high quality products I use in my office every day. And it's right from the merchant. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Don't get tangled up in supplementation. Lifestyle is number one, supplementation is number two. But if this was helpful, click like and subscribe. I'm gonna keep rolling out more content. If you need to navigate through this, you can click the link below. There's a link below. You can have a conversation with myself. I'll see if I can help. And if I can't, I'll point you in the direction of someone who can. So with that being said, I'm Dr. Glenn Harrison. I look forward to talking to you the next time where we're gonna answer the why to another health-related question. Have a great day.